Hello, welcome to Ephemera Files by Tommy. And today I did not plan this video. I did do a little bit of prep when I realized I want to do this video. So it's not well thought out. I'll be figuring out as I go. But I wanted to share this idea that I had, and somebody's probably done it before. I'm not going to say that I have just come out of this great brainstorm with this idea. But I have a pot holder, and it was in my mending, and I finally went through my mending and said, you know, I'm never going to mend this thing. And this was in there because on this side was a pattern that said ho ho ho. It was solid red, and then it had glossy ho 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 on it, obviously Christmas, and it had ripped over here. And I thought, well, I was going to mend it, and so I put it in the mending, and then I didn't mend it, and I just decided I wasn't going to worry about it. So I ripped off the ho 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 fabric and put it in my Christmas stash, and I had this left, and I thought, you know what, I bet I can do something with that. And so I folded it in half to carry in my hand, and I'm like, I could see a journal. I can see a journal. So red's not my favorite color, and I don't tend to keep a lot of red things, or so I thought, until I started looking around my studio for just odds and ends, and I found red here and red there, and I didn't go look for everything. Matter of fact, I'm standing here and I can see some red things on my desk. I did get this out because I knew I was going to do this video. But this was here from my last project. This is just a little collection of things. And there just happens to be a red and white button in it. A couple of other buttons and a little piece of fabric. Whoops. Oh, and look, a piece of tissue paper that has some red. And a little tiny feather. And then glanced over here and I found a ticket, a red and white ticket in this dish. What else is in here? Is there anything else in here I can use? There's different stickers and stuff. Yeah, but I can use that. That's a vellum sticker. So, oh, look, strawberries. Is that a sticker? I think that's a sticker. Well, might be able to use that in there. And, you know, just different things. And I'm still seeing things. I've got rickrack over here to the side from 3 projects ago, I think. I'm not good at cleaning up after myself. I need to be better, but I'm not. So let's see what we can do. I did gather my folders that hold my scrap papers. I got out the red and I got out the pink, because sometimes the pink has red in it. And I got white, but white is hardly ever white. It's mostly white. So I got that out. Let's see what we can do. First, I want to cover this batting because it's not solid and it'll peel up. I don't know what the proper term is. So I did go through my scrap basket, or not scrap basket, but fabric pieces, and I found this piece and I ironed it. And let's see. And I think that I am just going to pink around the edges using my pinking shears. Like I said, I'm thinking this through as I'm doing it. I'm going to pink around the edges with my pinking shears. And then I will glue it down. So I'm just going to put this on here. I'm going to get a pencil. I don't normally like pencils, but they do have their place. And I'm going to just trace. There we go. Set this right here, and I'll use my pinking shears, and I am going to cut just inside that line. Alright, so there's my fabric. I know it's not square, but my pot holder is also not square. Make sure that I have that going the right way to match the wonkiness. Yep. I'm going to snip those threads off real quick. All right, and then I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac to glue this down. All right, now a hint when you're using Fabri-Tac, if you touch it and it feels cold, it's not dry yet. So I'm going to set this to the side for just a minute and let it cure, dry, whatever the word would be. And let's see, I can actually use this to measure because my pages, well, my pot holder is almost 6 by 8. So if I take a 1/2 inch off of that, it's gonna be 5.5 by 7.5. So I need papers that I can use. So let's pull out these reds first, since I'm going for a red journal. And this is a fun paper. I don't even know what it's from. Let's see, this was a part of the a mailing. Let's see, I think it was a magazine. And so I can cut that part off. This one I think is not the right feel. So I'll put it back in the folder. And I've got a new camera set up and I keep hitting my head on it. So I think I'm gonna have to readjust it, but until I do that, I apologize for any motion. I like that. Let's see, is there anything else in here big enough to be a page? That one is. Probably have to refold it and cut it down. Let's see, nothing else is big enough to be a page unless I do something to it. Like I could put those two together as a page using washi tape or medical tape or a piece of paper or something. I'm not going to do that right now until I see. Those are stickers. That shouldn't be in there. Let's see, but I have lots of papers that I can make journaling cards and things like that with. So I'm going to put these back into the folder, but I'm not going to give up on the red folder of scrap paper. Now, I don't know how much of this I'd be able to use. Like, those are definitely not what I want. I did point this one out already, so I'll put that in there. There's another piece of it. One might work better than the other, so I'll put both of them over there, but I probably won't use both of them. That's on the red side of pink. Same there. Same kind of paper, as a matter of fact. And I'm going to pull the white out to see if there's anything I want to use. But like I said, I want it to be mostly red. I kind of like the texture on that one, so we'll put that in there. Several of these are cardstock, so that's probably why I kept them. That's a shimmery one. That shouldn't be in there at all. Now we're getting two papers that would actually be big enough. That's a digital from Dear Julie Julie. It should actually be in my Dear Julie Julie digitals instead of in the white. Okay, so I did get a couple of pieces out of the white. So what do we have other than my mess over here? Got one, and I need to check the measurements. I'll go ahead and I'll just plan on using all of these. Except for I cannot see through to make sure that I'm lining up straight. There we go. At that, and now I can see this. And I can do 7.5 right there and right there. And I'm going to set all my scraps over here because I will try to use everything that I just pulled out. Got a little bit left there, but that should not be a problem. Okay, so 7.5 would be 3 3/4, and this is measuring at 4 1/4. So I need it to be a 1/2 inch smaller. So I think all I need to do is take this I'm going to fold that back just because I made my mark, and I've never made this before. I'm just trying something new. I'm not sure where I was going with that. Oh, this way. And then I needed to fold this over so that, and let's see, is it 3 3/4? Just a little over, maybe. Do the same thing on this one. Just folding a 1/2 inch in. And then folding that over. And if this works, I'll have to figure out how to do a tutorial on it, because I think it will. Yep, and so now I just need to let's see, I need to figure out how I will be sewing it in. Right, so I'm going to fold this in. At a 1/2 inch. All right, so now you see I've got the 2 folds down here and down here. That will tuck in so that that opens up. This, yep, that's gonna work. So I'll sew it in here. So I need to, where'd my pencil go? There it is. I'm gonna say. Signature center. And when I sew that in, then I will glue that down and glue that down. I'll glue down those 2 edges. Let's see, I need to make a little thumb pocket there, right? Let's see. Yes. thumb notch right there. And then glue those edges down. I need to put something for writing in there. That will fold over and tuck in like that. And then when you turn the page, there's another little tuck right there. I'll glue that down and glue that down so that it'll just be a tuck. All right, I'm gonna put some little clothespins on there so that I can remember how that goes. So that page is ready. Whew, that was a lot of thinking on that one. All right, this is already less than 7. So I need it to be, what did I say, 5.5? I don't remember what I said. Yes, 5.5. So I'm going to line this up on here. Line my ruler up at 5.5. Make sure I'm straight. Because it's just such a small journal, I am not going to make like fold up pockets out of the ones that are too long. All my pages are torn. That one's going to be in the center. Just do a check to make sure everything will fit inside. Yes, and I am going to, because these are round corners, I am just going to go through and I'm going to round all the corners. I didn't see that on the back. Well, that was a fun surprise. Okay. All right, I need to work on this one first because everything else is just a simple fold. I need to go through and use my bone folder to make sure everything is folded and tight. And that one wasn't it. I need, there, that one. Need to decide yep, I'm going to put my writing paper on this side. So I need to look and see. I found another piece. Do I want to add that just for a little bit of color? Because I do like it. I think I will. But I'm not going to cut it. I think that I will just make a couple of pockets on the ends. And so I'm going to do that by, let's see, 7.5. So that was 3 3/4. So I'm going to come in here, make that 7.5. Do the same thing over here. I know, I'm silly. What was I doing? need to cover that up with something. Huh. And that's where the scrap of paper that didn't belong comes in. Yay! Okay, so I just need to cover up to there. I'm just going to cover that up so it doesn't show through the writing paper. And then I'm going to glue this part. I had to see which line it was I was gluing up next to. Right, now this one is going to glue over completely. And I don't want to glue that down yet because I have to sew that. So I don't think I'm going to glue anything else. Let's see. That will all glue down. That one needs a thumb notch. I'll do that before I sew it in because it's really, really hard. Just over 5, so just over 2.5. Really, really hard to put in the thumb notch after. Okie doke. Now, what can I glue? I can glue I will tuck in there, and that opens up, and so I can glue this section here. Just like that. So that needs to be kept open so that I can sew that in. Let's see, let's see. I'm just going to take a paper clip so that whenever I go to sew it, that's not flapping all around. Okay, so there's that. Next step, I know that's the center. And so I'm just going to arrange my papers and see what looks good against that. Which I think it needs to probably be a plain one. We'll do that one that's got the cool texture on it. It doesn't matter which direction it goes. So I'll just go ahead and fold it in half. I'm going to go ahead and glue that too because that'll be hard to get to with the glue after it's sewn in. And I am liking this here, so I am going to do a separate tutorial on it. So if you're not catching all of this, don't worry, I will take care of you. All right. And that's going to open that way. I just need to make sure that I've got it right side up. So that's up. So that when I put my other papers down, if they require direction, which I think there's only one that does. Yeah, the butterflies. Which I'm going to go ahead and put that one down next. Should probably, you know, I want your opinion on this because I've seen people say it both ways. I've seen people say, don't make your crease really, really tight before you sew your signature in, because it's going to cause you issues. And I've also seen do because it'll make it go in better. And I don't know which way works. Let's see, going with that. Or do I need some space between? I think I need some space between the busyness. I tend to crease it before I sew it. How do you do it? Do you prefer one way or the other? Does it really make a difference to you? Does it matter at all? You just don't know because you've never paid attention. You just did it, which makes sense to me too. Let's see. Is this where I want this? I think, because I think that looks cute together. I think we'll do that. Yep. And then we'll do the shiny red paper. I think I like that better because it's got a little more contrast between the two. Now, I could have sworn that that one had. Why does this one have butterflies and this one doesn't? That's odd because I was kind of counting on those butterflies being on both of them after I saw that. Oh well. It'll be okay. So I'm going to give it a flip through and make sure that I like the order that everything is in. Oh, I forgot to round the corners on the green because I added it in. It is odd that the one has butterflies and the other doesn't. Let's see. And I feel like that one is just a little too long. So we'll do that. Now that red's sticking out. Oh, I like that. I like the red being on the outside cover. Yep. Okay. So I think that I'm happy with that. So I need to get this ready to sew together. Let's see. I think I'm not done rearranging. Okay, let's get everything lined up. If it's a short page, I want it in the center. And if it reaches top to bottom, I want it to be aligned properly. There we go. So I am going to put a clip on this for a second because I need to find the center of this. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to grab one of my rulers and I'm going to put that in there, and then I'm going to get my edges aligned, and then I am going to do this. And what I'm doing is I am making a crease mark in there, and I'm going to carefully open this, and I'm just going to take a marker and put 2 tiny little dots in there just so I know where the center is. All right, next step is I'm going to get my awl and my ruler that has the 0 center so that I can actually find the center, which it should be like 3.5, a little less than 3.5, right there. And I am going to, there it is. I have these 2 holes at 2 1/4. And just make that mark a little bit. That is not the pen I just used, because that's not working on the mark on the fabric, because it's not meant for fabric. Here's the Sharpie that I was using. There we go. Put that there, and that at the center. Make my marks bigger. And I know that I'm at the center, and I just flipped my clothespin over there. I know that I'm at the center, and then these are 2 1/4, 2 1/4. So I'm going to use my same ruler. Let's see, I need to get my clips on here. And I am going to measure from the center. And so I am using my outside edges here, and I am lining up my ruler until it reads the same measurement on both ends. And that is at 2 3/4. I'm going to take my awl. I'm going to put it on my little foam block here, which is just recycled from packaging. And I'm going to go straight down here and move my ruler for some reason. And I'm going to put it on the 0, scoot the ruler out of the way, and I'm going to push. And then I'm going to come out to 2 1/4. And 2 1/4. This is a small enough journal. I'm not going to worry about making a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. I think that everything will work out just fine without it. I do need to punch my holes in here. You do want to be careful and keep your fingers out of the way, because you don't want to bleed all over your journal cover. There we go. And did you see where my, there it is, my cap went? All right, I did pull out red. And I am going to because I'm going to tie my knot on the inside because this will be glued together, and that way you won't see anything. I am going to first make sure which direction I'm going. Okay, this is up, and I should have marked that. So I'm going to go through here. This is the back, and then I'm going to go through there, just like that. Pull it through, and then I'm going to catch that end with my thumb. I'm going to come in through this hole, and then go up through my holes that I punched up here. And I'm going to pull that as taut as I can without pulling my thread through. Then I'm going to come down here to the far hole in the signature and pull that through. Then I'm going to come to the center hole. I'm going to go through, and I'm going to go through. There we go. I'm going to pull that through. And you can see, I hope, that I've got one thread on one side and one on the other. Now I need to tighten this up. And so first I'm going to pull on this shorter one. Make sure that that's not tight. So I'm going to pull on both ends now. And then I am going to tie a surgeon's knot by tying once and pulling it as tight as I can. And then I'm going to do an overhand again. And then I'm going to take this tail through a second time. Now I find with my waxed thread was what I was trying to come up with, that sometimes I don't need to do that because, I don't know, for some reason it just seems to make itself useful and hold on. But if I'm using anything else, I definitely use the surgeon's knot. All right, and let's see. Yep, that worked pretty well. I'm going to sew my button on like that, and that should hold it just fine. Let's see, let's get this glued together. And the way I'm going to do that, I need to glue this section down because it makes a pocket. And I'm actually going to go across here with a little bit of glue, just because I can. All right, now this is going to create a tuck right here. So I'm going to, whoa, have a big gluey glob going on. And I'm gonna get my little handy dandy clothespins here to hold those until I get done, until it sets up. And then I am going to do the same thing on this one. Let's see. Can I scoot that a little bit further down? Yes. All right. And I'm just gonna, like I said, gonna put that glue glob there. Pick some of it up and bring it over here. And put my pin back in. And I know I don't have glue in the middle, but I'm going to put the pins on there anyway, just to help it lay flat while the glue on the ends is setting. Let's see, my button is right here. And I'm going to use the same thread that I used before. I should probably make sure that this needle will go through that buttonhole. Yep. I'm going to use my same thread here to sew my button on. I need to mark, it's right there. Needed to mark the center. This can still be drying. Let's do this. Instead of me trying to hold on to that with my thumb, let's just do that. It's going to be hidden behind the button anyway. All right, I'm going to put my button on there. And I'm going to put just a little dab of glue to help hold the button in place. Even though I'm going to have it sewn on there with that really strong waxed thread, I want to make sure that it's not going anywhere. So I'm going to put my button on there. I'm going to come through. I don't have my thimble near, so I'll use my little holder. And then get my pliers out to pull the needle through, because it's going through a whole lot of thick stuff. Trying to be careful that I didn't pull it all the way through. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come from the back. There we go. I'm going to tie a knot. And then I'm just going to cut that off. And that is way longer than I want it to be, but I wanted to make sure that I had enough. And I don't want them all to be the same length, so I'm going to pull them up one at a time and snip them. They might be close in length, but they won't be right on each other in length. All right, and that glue is no longer cold, so it's dry. And then I think that this is just a little long. So I am going to just do a quick tear down here. And then that will fold over and will tuck. I will need to, I forgot about this. It won't go in there completely because I have glue there. So I am going to take my little card here that I made for making tags. I made this out of a Joann gift card. And let's see, will that be enough, do I think? Or does it need to be more like that? I think that might be overkill. So let's go with this one. I just have 3 different corners cut, and then I just left the original rounded one in case I ever just want to round a little bit like that. And I'm going to line this up. I'm going to get my scissors. I'm just going to trim that off. And then I'm going to turn this over so that it is going to match this by being the exact opposite, which doesn't sound like it should work, but it does. That is how it works. And now, oof, that probably needs to be cut too. Or torn. Let's just tear it. I already tore one side of it. Let's just tear the other side of it. And then that'll tuck into there, just like that. Okay, so this is the back, this is the front. This will come right over the button, hopefully. After all that work, get better. There we go. And I think I am going to look for some of my lace because I think I want to cover up that raw edge there because the back side of it is not so pretty. So yeah, I think that I'm going to come back with some lace. Okay, I think that one will work. I think that one will work. All right, so let's unbutton this. And I'm going to start it down here. And I'm just going to work myself around the way, the curve of the pot holder. Yep. That was a lot of glue, a lot more than I meant to put down there. That glue set up, and I don't know if that is the front or the back right there, but all I did was I had such a short piece left, I just went ahead and let it trail up there as a little bit of an eye candy, I guess. Not really eye candy, just fun. How about just fun? Does that work? I am going to let this dry, and then I'm going to stop for today, or for this video anyway, and pick up and go through decorating the journal. I already am happy with it. I'm surprised because it turned out a lot better than I thought it would, and we're not even finished yet. So, thank you for joining me today, and as always, be kind. Bye.